back once again. AD on the radio.
It's you and the senorita. Woofer blowing up the tweeter, cause it's me up in the speaker. Knocking the mama seat top down like a player. And the sound up in your ears, it is the dopest rhyme. Say I'm running game like a cheater. I'm balling like they're...
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream that one day little black boys and girls will be holding hands with little white boys and girls. The words, of course, of Martin Luther King Jr. Now, let me ask you this. Today on MLK Day, as we take a moment to reflect on a civil rights leader who, no matter what you think of what may or may not have occurred in his private life, no matter what you may or may not think of his personal motivation, no matter how people in this day and age continue to question the fiber of his character, this is a guy that stood for something and was a symbol of something and has almost become more powerful as a symbol than he was as a human being. But what do you notice about these words? I have a dream that one day little black boys and girls will be holding hands with little white boys and girls. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. What do you notice about these quotes from the legendary I Have a Dream speech? What I think that I notice the most is it's pretty clear what he's talking about. It's pretty clear what his vision is. It's specific, it's definite, it's defined. You can picture that very easily in your mind. You see little black boys and girls holding hands with little white boys and girls. You see children that grow up where they're not judged by the color of their skin. There are no question marks around it. There are no blanks for you to fill in yourself. There's no vagary. These aren't platitudes. And that is something valuable, and that is something that is absolutely 100% missing in this day and age. It's a difference. It's the difference between having a specific, defined, clear, definite goal and suckering people in. Hope, change. Won our most recent president, those 2 ideas of hope and change, won our most recent president 2 elections. 8 years of one world leader. President of these United States of America and leader of the free world. Achieved what some would say the highest office on the planet through hope and change. But what does that mean? What does that look like? Do you know? I don't. History will reflect on presidents, past and future, better than the present will. The objectivity that comes with the benefit of the distance of years will help give better assessments of specific presidents' places in history. And the times that we live in will be easier to figure out when we're not mired down by our own lives within these times. But one thing is certain. I know a lot of people that were taken in by the idea of hope and changed and pulled the lever for democracy, and then went, I wanted hope and change. I don't feel like I have hope and change. To which I responded, well, hope for what? Change specifically to what way? They're like, just big global change. And you know what? Honestly, there's been big changes since Obama took office. Some people would say that destroyed a certain amount of hope they had. Some people would say it inspired a certain amount of hope. But it's almost like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. What's the answer to life, the universe, and everything? 42. Huh? I think the problem is you didn't take the time to figure out what the question was. The ultimate answer is 42. What is the ultimate question? I don't know. Well, now I'm more confused than ever before. The thing that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave us was something specific and definite and defined and unquestionable in his vision for America and his vision for the people of America. And as politicians on the left, right, middle, up, down, side to side, whatever the hell way you want to go, are trying to keep themselves alive in the run-up to a presidential election for the next 10 minutes by selfishly pandering to people, telling them whatever the hell they want to hear so they can remain alive in the polls, there's a lot of vagary in the platitudes that they like to spew out. You've noticed this, right? Doesn't matter what the issue is on. You can spit out some vague platitudes about, well, I mean, hope and change. That was Obama's thing. So, like, everybody's kind of staying away from the concepts of hope and change. But, you know, family, strength, independence, liberty. You can kind of like spout a couple of good keywords at the end of whatever the hell debate that you're in, and you can stay alive to fight another day. And it takes courage to be defined. It takes courage to be clear the way Martin Luther King was. It takes courage because the moment you get clear, the moment you get defined, the moment you lay out a picture of what it is you're trying to do, people can pick at it. People can go like, really? I mean, I get that you want equality, but holding hands, you say, yeah. Very specific. It takes bravery to be specific. And I don't know if we have that kind of bravery. I don't know if we have that kind of cleanliness of conscience among our potential elected officials this time around. And while we can't control that, what we can do is we can control it within ourselves. You want hope? You want change in your life? Be clear, be definite, be defined. Have a dream of your own, whatever it may be. Be sure of what it is. Make it bright, make it 3D, make it beautiful in your mind. Picture it, put yourself in that picture. Be specific. Because if you start talking to yourself in that haphazard way that we are being spoken to by authority figures, well, you're being dishonest with yourself in the same way that they're being dishonest with you. Have that dream. Make it clear. There are a lot of lessons that we can take from Martin Luther King and what he's done and what he will do with the power of his words and the figure that he's become as the years fall away. But for me, today, I think the clarity of his vision is the thing that I want to remember and carry in my heart. Happy MLK Day.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio.
Every day you're going and working, running that rat race at that pace and that place will leave a bad taste for anyone, everyone working day after day. So buddy, I gotta say for you, there's gotta be a better way, yeah. And you do what they told ya, company man, feel it, a mindless little soldier. How can you live like that and maintain your composure before it's begun? Your life's already freaking over, yeah. I do what I want, when I want, how I want, yeah. I do what I want, when I want, how I want. This is my United States of whatever.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. No Lincolnian Emancipation Proclamation can do this for us. We must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. Yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours.
Students all over the South started sitting in at lunch counters. And I knew that as they were sitting in, they were really standing up.
Glory. Oh, glory.
have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Unbelievably inspiring guy, unbelievably inspiring figure, unbelievably important person in our personal histories. Lots of question marks that a lot of people like to throw up on a day like today, being like, was he really that great a guy? And I get it. I understand that you should question the validity of anything with great power. Power is to be questioned, whether it is the power of an elected official or the power of a figurehead. And there are some, well, you know, I think Martin Luther King wasn't the most faithful individual. Like, I think he had a little extramarital fun. I think. Don't quote me on this one. I'm not, and I'm in no way, shape, or form running down what he stands for. And I think that what was the thing? Funkhauser, could you look this up? I think there was.
Yes.
A lot of people have kind of literal religious experiences where they experience stuff of, what's a polite way of saying this? You know how back in the day of the Bible, there were all sorts of crazy, amazing things happening. Lot's wife turned into a pillar of salt. The parting of the Red Seas. All those plagues that were called down upon Pharaoh. Yeah, all this sort of stuff happened on what seemed like an ongoing basis in the Old Testament. We don't see too much of it in this day and age, and there's question marks around the historical accuracy of some of the things depicted in that way. Did the fire and brimstone really rain down on the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah? Is there a scientific explanation for it? Was it some sort of volcanic event? Who knows? And theologians and scientists debate it on a regular basis. But I think Martin Luther King had an experience of seeing a demon at the foot of his bed. Do you ever hear about this, Funkhauser? Can you Google it? Because I've read about it multiple times, and it's an interesting one. And look, hey, you know, it goes to show there's a certain amount of hypocrisy in those that put a tremendous amount of stock in the events that took place in the Bible. Where I know a lot of people that be like, oh, yeah, this happened. The fire and brimstone rained down, and Lot's wife was totally, absolutely 100% turned into a pillar of salt. Really? That's not sort of allegorical to you? No, it happened. Martin Luther King saw a demon at the edge of his bed. Well, he's a wackadoo. You can't take anything he says seriously. The point I'm trying to make is, on a day like today, Martin Luther King has come to stand for some ideas and some principles. And there's going to be people that tell you to question those principles, question the man, question everything that, you know, MLK Day is all about. But I would urge you to, well, while you should have an open mind and while you should pursue the truth wherever it may be, I would urge you to keep in your heart and your mind the truth of his words. I have a dream that one day little black boys and little black boys and girls will be holding hands with little white boys and girls. I think that's my favorite one. I think that's probably always going to be my favorite one because it has to do with children. And it has to do with equality in the minds of people that haven't had a chance to develop prejudices, haven't been weighed down by society's wants and needs and demands that it places on a person, hasn't been weighed down by the hypocrisy of one's peers. A child's thinking is pure. A child's thinking is not prejudiced. A child's thinking is not judgmental. Until such a time where some crappy parents or a crappy teacher gets its hooks into a child's mind is pure and unprejudicial. And that is a particular truth that I choose to take into Martin Luther King Day. A dream that one day little black boys and girls will be holding hands with little white boys and girls. A dream that his 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And you know what? All these years, I don't know that we're there yet. So let's keep on going.
Your best, you're stuck without enough, so hang it up, just give it up. It's time somebody let you know that you will never be good enough. You will never be one of us. You will never be good enough. You know why? You're better sucks, and you're going nowhere, and that's why no one cares. And you should be aware, you should know your better sucks. So go get a day job.
Like most kids from a privileged white upper-middle-class suburban background, for a significant portion of his childhood, he was pretty convinced he was down. AD on the radio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah, yeah.
Funkhauser, what is the title of today's show?
MLOK Not Cool Day.
MLOK Not Cool Day. Why? Well, look, we never make it through MLK Day without somebody doing something insensitive or offensive or very, 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 very poorly thought out. And usually it's a company serving what would be regarded as stereotypically black foods. This, what happened, way, way worse. What happened at an Air Force base in Georgia, yeah, it's next level in terms of, like, you didn't think that through now, did you? Or maybe you did, and that makes it way worse. But whatever the case may be, we will get into that shortly after we take a look at the events of today in our segment, My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair, certainly not balanced. Funkhauser, what is going on in the world? And how are you?
Oh, yeah. Things are kind of good in the world, I guess. I don't know. A lot of debates happened last week. Not a lot of traffic today. That's good.
We learned late last week to look out for you on the game show Idiot Test, right? Is it called Idiot Test?
Right, yeah.
Idiot
Test on Game Show Network. It's Wednesdays at 10 p.m. I'll be
and we don't know
on
exactly,
the new season.
Yeah, we don't know when Funkhauser is going to be on, but Wednesdays, 10 p.m. on the Game Show Network. Is that it?
You got it. 10 p.m. Check your local listings.
And Funkhauser and his girlfriend, Canadian Jane, are going to be on the show. That is all we know.
There are mime jokes because she's dressed like a mime. And there are Taylor Swift jokes because she sort of looks like Taylor Swift.
We know that also what is on the line is $10,000, which when you split it with Canadian Jane is $5,000, and after Uncle Scam takes his cut, it's $2,600, But it's still exciting, the concept of Funkhauser going on a game show and winning cashola. It feels strangely legitimizing for this show. So Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Game Show Network. Look out for Funkhauser. We are rooting for you. We are pulling for you, and lunch will be on you if you happen to win $2,600. Also, isn't there a chance that you're all over TV at the moment, Funkhauser?
Yeah. So late last year, I said, Funky's got to be on TV. Funky's in Los Angeles. Funky should do some television. So I started,
where this sort of thing can actually happen.
I started getting these emails. Sign up to be on a list to do this for that. And I've been in audiences before. Clapping for 4 hours for Wheel of Fortune and stuff like that, but never in front of the camera. So I started applying for things like that. And, it's really easy to apply. You whip out your phone, you do a video submission for the most part. They want to see how you look and talk and stuff. So I've been doing a lot of here's and there's for things that I wasn't able to talk about until, probably now. The first one it's going to hit TV is, have you ever heard of True TV? Have you ever heard of that network?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mostly cops and jail and South Beach Tow. A lot of it's not true, but it's called True TV. There's a show called Fameless that David Spade created, and I'm going to be on Fameless.
Oh.
It's a prank show.
So yeah, Funkhauser. Look for him not only on Idiot Test, but also on the True TV show Fameless with David Spade. Very excited about all of this. Curious to see how it goes.
I'm so embarrassed.
We are
so embarrassed. You want me to tell you why I'm embarrassed? I came there thinking I was going to be a host for some new pilot thing, and it turned around that I got pranked. So that'll be fun.
You got pranked.
I got pranked.
Interesting.
But we'll talk about it more when it airs. Monday nights at 10 o'clock, True TV. Check it out.
Interesting. We look forward to that. All right, what is going on in the news?
Sean Penn says he's upset that nobody is focusing on the real purpose of his interview with El Chapo.
Yeah, the real purpose of Sean Penn's interview for El Chapo, which was more attention for Sean Penn, I think. I think that's what he was focusing on. I found out some stuff about that, which if we have time, we'll get into.
Yeah,
that
I saw
today.
something on YouTube, too. Guns N' Roses could make $3 million per show on a reunion tour.
Yeah, $4 million if they swear not to play anything from Use Your Illusion 1 or 2. Just play the hits. Oh, Axel's sitting down at the piano. Time to leave. And it's hard to hold a candle in the cold November. Bye. I wonder if that's a disappointment to them because, I heard early reports from an industry insider that they were looking to make $8 million a show, and if it's dropped to $3 million a show, I wonder if they gauge that sort of thing. They announce it, and they announce it. They're like, "Yep, Guns N' Roses, a version of the classic lineup is back together. We don't know who's going to be playing drums. We don't know who's going to be playing second guitar, but we do know it's going to involve the core members, Axl, Duff, and Slash. The whole." Duff has been, I think, the glue that's held the idea together. Duff's friendly with Axl, Duff's friendly with Slash, and so, of course, it's going to involve Axl, Duff, and Slash. But the rest of the lineup we're not entirely sure about. And I wonder if they were looking at making sort of $8 million per show, and then the response on social media, which was, a palpable one. But the response on social media might not have been as, oh my God, this is the most incredible thing that's ever happened. I think, when I sort of brought it up on Facebook, when I got the news, I was like, hey, what does everybody think? And 9 out of 10 people were like, Axl's fat and he won't show up. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, well, if I were a betting man.
Take me down to the Paradise City where the gravy's thick and they deep fry Twinkies. Oh, won't you please feed me scones? Go on, what else?
In the new HBO series Vinyl, Ray Romano has a nude group sex scene. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies.
Yeah. You've been waiting for this since 1995, and it's finally happening. All your wildest dreams are coming true. Here's your chance to really see everybody love Raymond. Go on. That sounds like something I don't want to see.
I remember this news the exact same time last year, 1 year earlier. But today, or yesterday, Betty White turned 94.
Yeah. Man. 94.
I just looked her up. I wonder if she's still
what'd you find
around.
out?
I wonder if she's still tweeting. And she is. She's out there doing stuff.
What's Betty White's most recent tweet? Probably thank you for all the birthday wishes, right?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Let's see. I wonder if she's real Betty White. I can't remember what her handle is. There it is. At Betty M. White. Nothing like spending your birthday with a friend or 8 if they're good looking. NFL on Fox. She took pictures yesterday for her birthday. Late show. Mm-hmm. She's tweeting and promoting, and that's cool.
Yeah. Look at her go. That's a life well lived. I
wonder if they find something technologically advanced when we turn 90 something, and if we grab onto it as good as she has.
I wonder how much. Well, I wonder how much. I wonder if she tweets herself, or I'm guessing she has somebody tweet for her. But I think she understands the importance of Twitter and tweeting.
Larry King does.
Right? Yeah. No. Some folks are early adopters of this, and I have to say, I've seen friends that have had 2 grandmas, one of which was A computer? Cool. Oh, I can play solitaire on this. Fantastic. Oh, I can talk to my grandchildren on this. Fantastic. I can, and they're doing it all. They're ancient and Skyping. They love that. They're totally up in it. The other one, very, very old school. Didn't ever have a cell phone. Kind of, had an interesting time navigating the actual phone. It's just like, or an answering machine was completely out of the question. Like, not in any way, shape, or form less intelligent than the other grandmother, but just not an adopter of new things. Very traditional. Liked things exactly the way they were in 1955 and did her best to just kind of, maintain in that way. While the other one was sort of like seeking and discovering and enjoying everything that the digital age was bringing. The other one was still sort of like, the answering machine, I can't deal with that. Just leave a notebook by the side of the phone. And I get both perspectives. There's value in both perspectives. But I will say this. One of them is still alive and the other one is not. And I honestly, look, you can't do anything about, when cancer decides to come for you or something of that nature. But the sharpness of mind, and there's all sorts of way more scientific than my vague musings, studies out there that would suggest you keep your mind sharp, you're going to be around longer. And folks like, Betty White, Larry King, still working, still keeping their mind sharp. Larry King gets fired from TV. I mean, it was like, I'm going to have a podcast, like, not without even thinking about it.
I'm going to spend Sunday afternoon tweeting.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, Larry King and Betty White have, how old's Larry King now? Is he in his 80s?
I don't know.
80s? Is
Probably.
he hit 90 yet? Whatever the case may be, they are infinitely more connected to a generation of millennials than other entertainers that came from their time. It's an interesting one. It really is. And it makes me want to make sure I stay on top of whatever new technology comes along. So I like to think, Funkhauser, that you and I will, at the age of 90, be whatever it is.
Maybe they'll figure out flying cars by then.
Things are moving so fast now that, I cannot even begin to guess what might be floating around in
maybe it goes back and everything's made of wood.
Yeah, that would be good too. All right, what else?
Superman versus Batman will be the most expensive movie in history.
Yeah. Most expensive movie in history, Superman versus Batman. Other than the fact that nobody likes Superman or Ben Affleck, it's a good investment. Hey, Betty White turned 94 yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Ah, well, the fact that she's still around, I think means that her friends and family had the good sense not to make it a surprise party. Go on.
Today is Martin Luther King Day.
Yep. Donald Trump calls it a day for everyone to put aside their differences and come together to build a wall to keep the Mexicans out.
Today, everywhere, Americans are celebrating Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah. I just got a tweet from Scott who said, "You said it and took it back all in the same sentence. Kids don't care, and they do play together at daycare across the nation." Well, yeah. Kids do play together at daycares across the nation. But there comes a stage in people's childhood. And, look, we're obviously not where we were during the famous I Have a Dream speech. We have moved on from that somewhat. But at some stage or another, maybe once they're out of daycare, maybe once they're exposed to a little bit more of the world, it's almost impossible that something doesn't seep into their consciousness. It's almost impossible that they are not infected by some kind of lack of presence of mind from a parent, a teacher, an authority figure, something of that nature. And we all start out innocent. We all start out perfect. We all start out pure. And that goes away at some stage in the game. So, yeah. It's not a matter of taking it back, saying it and taking it back in the same sentence. It's a matter of acknowledging that that's how we start. It's when other people get their hooks into us. That's where the problems begin. I hope that makes sense to you. Today is Martin Luther King Day. Americans everywhere celebrating Martin Luther King today. Unless they're Oscar voters, in which case not so much. Go on.
Yep. Hillary Clinton revealed her granddaughter's surprising first words.
Yeah, yep. Clintons have a grandbaby. First words, surprisingly enough, delete all. What ill thought out oops has caused us to name the show ML? Okay, that's not cool day. We'll get into it next.
When I feel untouchable, I try and make up for all the wrongs I did by living my life like a Cosby kid, jamming on the one like Theo and Stevie. I know it sounds crazy, but you gotta believe me. When I feel like I just can't make it through, I try to think, whoa.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you my musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me. Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me.
So, Funkhauser, do you think that if you win $10,000 on the game show idiot test that you're going on with Canadian Jane, do you think that will further solidify your relationship? That victory or loss, however it goes, actually, will bond you closer together and make the idea of impending nuptials that much more of a thing. Do you think that people will be like, well, you've been on a game show when you got to put a ring on it?
No.
No? Oh,
No.
okay.
No, we made a pact beforehand that we're not going to let anything get in the way. Like, if I get a really bad thing wrong and mess it up, then that's not it for the relationship, and vice versa.
Oh, you made a pact saying that it would not ruin your relationship going in and playing the game show. But I'm just talking about, like, you're that much more bonded if you go on a game show together. That's another life experience. That's another notch in the old belt in terms of, going out and sharing experiences in this world. And, the more of those that you rack up, friends, family, loved ones start to go, hey, you gonna further the cause of Canadian-American relations by letting the wedding bells ring? Do you anticipate?
I think y'all should slow down.
Oh, really? Well, here's comedian Maria Bamford on being married.
We recently married, only 9 months, so we've been having a lot of sex, a lot of fudging and wedging and lotions and potions and unguents and poultices and jams and jellies and sauces and salsas and mustards and custards and foams and soups and smoothing milks and hustle bustle, hustle bustle, hustle bustle, hammer, anvil, hammer, anvil, hammer, anvil. Nothing's been consummated, but we've been doing some furious hand-holding, and our palms are raw with desire. I love people so much. I love you so much. I love my family so much. I love my niece and nephews. I say that I love them, but is that what I say when once a year I FedEx them a box of wigs? Does that really make up for the fact that I never make eye contact, and I'm still not clear on their names? Hey, Tiny, where are the bigger ones? I have a dear friend who I know has a flip phone, and yet I continue to send her emojis of eggplants and basketballs and pieces of pizza, knowing that all she sees are squares.
So, according to Maria Bamford, there's that to look forward to, Funkhauser. All right, let's continue with the news. What else is going on in the world?
Well, we told you about Hillary Clinton, right?
I'm sorry, I don't feel as though we're doing the news because I don't hear the news music. There
Is that
we go.
better?
Much.
Are you happy
Thank
now?
you. Thank you very much. Yes. Well, I mean, what
The
really
guy who
is
hits the
happy?
news is on
Okay.
vacation today.
Oh, our team. What about our staff of writers? Open the door, see if they're still there writing.
Let me look in there. Hold on. No, it doesn't look like anybody's in there. Just
Really? Open the other door, see if the typing pool's behind it.
All right, let me look here. Oh. There it is.
Yeah.
There's the team.
Yeah, we kind of thought, do we get MLK Day off? No. Neither do they. You didn't think we could bring you this type of rape here went by ourselves, did you? Thanks to the little people behind the scenes making this happen. Go on, Funkhauser. What else?
Thanks to all the little people under the table.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton revealed...
That's your other job with the adult radio station.
Hillary Clinton revealed that her granddaughter's surprising first words were...
We did that before the break.
Hillary Clinton
if you missed it, her granddaughter's first words were delete all. Go on.
Oh, yeah. Hillary Clinton has increased her lead over Bernie Sanders to 25%.
Yeah, the news caused Bernie to yell and complain and get cranky. So, a lot like any other day. Go on.
The Tennessee couple who won more than $500 million in the Powerball jackpot.
Billion with a B.
Billion plans to keep working.
Right. Would you, Funkhauser? I mean, everybody had this whole conversation.
I would still work here with you. Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
No, well,
maybe not
let's be clear on this. We wouldn't work here. We'd still work, but it wouldn't be here.
I would buy Ellen's house and do it out of there or something.
We'd be doing this show from our own private island. Notice how I graciously included myself in your Powerball winning and referred to it as our island. See? Coming out of the woodwork. Yeah. Oh, this is so great for us that you won the Powerball.
Don't worry. I will dial you up from my island.
I'll be like, sorry, I'd love to do a show, but I gotta gas up the Kia Rio.
If we were on the same island, you would
drive
be on
to my third
side,
job,
and I'd be on the other side. I think that's how it would be.
Okay. All right. One more piece of news.
Scientists brought microscopic animals back to life after they've been frozen for 30 years.
Yeah, you know all that Walt Disney-esque cryogenic head freezing until such a time comes around where they cure death? Sounds like they're one step closer. Crazy. And, you know, I know that this is a tiny little move forward in this department, but when I saw this, it's like mind blown. All over my face. Can open, worms everywhere. The fact that they brought back microscopic animals, and I don't know what the lifespan of a microscopic animal is. Not long, I'm guessing. But they brought them back to life after they've been frozen for 30 years. Older than some of our listeners, these microscopic animals. They've been, I don't know, 30 years ago. What was that, the 80s? That was the 80s, right, Funkhauser?
85.
Yeah.
86.
So, it's crazy. Brought back to life. That the implications are unbelievable. You know what this means, right?
What?
There's hope for the Bill and Hillary Clinton marriage after all. Okay. It's cheap. Let's continue, shall we? Not with the news, but...
we got like a minute here.
What, until the end of the show?
No.
Do we I was getting confused. I lose track of all time. I have such good fun with you and with the people that are... Okay.
Just like your mom.
See, we never really make it through Martin Luther King Day without somebody doing something very poorly thought out. Some people would say offensive. I just detest the word offensive. But we never really make it through Martin Luther King Day without someone doing something where you're like, really? Really? You did not think that through, did you? This time, it comes from an Air Force base in Georgia. What do they do? We'll get into that next. Thank you so much for joining us. Tweet us at ADSXE at Funk FM.
Now, someone who everybody wants to punch in the face. AD on the radio.
Hey, David Bowie just scored his first ever number one album in the U.S. David Bowie wasn't originally expected to end Adele's 7-week run at the top of the Billboard 200, but he has. Virtually inevitable after his passing. And his passing happened 2 days after his new album, Black Star, came out. Sold 181,000 copies, which was enough to give Bowie his first ever number one album in America, even if he wasn't around to see it happen. It's pretty impressive stuff. I mean, the album by itself. And people are like, oh, it's so sad that it took his death for something like this to happen. David Bowie's been around for a really long time. I think he started in the late 60s. He was in the late 60s. He started putting out records. He had his first single when he was 15 years old, which was kind of nuts. Under the name Davy Jones, I think. What was the name of his band? And then Davy Jones from the Monkees blew up, and that's why he changed his last name to Bowie. But I think this is his 28th or 29th album. There's a lot of David Bowie out there. And so for people not to be, able to... Look, I can't think of 27 things. Like, can you name... I'm a Bowie fan. I cannot name all 27 David Bowie albums. Can't do it.
Somebody out there can.
Yeah, somebody out there definitely can. But for, the general population, when you have that kind of a body of work... perfect example. Green Day put out that album last time, and besides Billy Joe Armstrong turning into Drinky the Clown and killing all the opportunities for them to go on tour because he had to head to rehab after doing that thing at our iHeartRadio festival where he cursed, smashed a guitar, and left, which, by the way, still one of my favorite moments of the festival. And people, you can't say that. And then... That was one of the first ones, and then when we had more, they used Billy Joe Armstrong freaking out in the promos for it, and it was like, you never know what can happen. I was like, damn, Skippy, it's a moment of true rock and roll. Sadly, it meant that he wasn't in great shape, but, it was memorable, and it was awesome for its own reasons. But Green Day put out, a double album, lots and lots of songs, and they also had they had so much music that they also put out another album under a different name, the Foxborough Hot Tubs. And as much as anybody is a huge Green Day fan, that's a lot to take in all at once. So it's a lot of Bowie to take in all at once when you get to the point where you have the better part of 30 albums. And so I don't think David Bowie's all that bothered by the fact that I don't think David Bowie's all that bothered by the fact when he was around that his records weren't selling 181,000 copies a week and heading straight to the top of the charts. I think he was happy that he still had an audience, because how many people had been around that long? How many people had managed to evolve in that way and still maintain an adoring audience? Almost no one. Anyways, David Bowie's been honored with his own constellation, and it's fitting. It's in the direction of Mars, and it's 7 stars shaped like the lightning bolt that's on his face on his Aladdin Sane album cover. It's good stuff. Anyway, as we were saying, we never really make it through Martin Luther King Day without somebody doing something unbelievably offensive. Usually it's a company serving stereotypically black foods or something of that nature. This is worse. This is worse. And I'm going to go, everyone was just like, racists in Georgia. I think this was just incredibly poorly thought out. I'm going to give the people the benefit of the doubt in terms of saying this wasn't a racial thing. This was, you did not think that through thing. Well, I'll let you decide. You let me know what you think. Was it purposefully racist or purposefully... Did they or did they not think this out, I suppose, is a question I want you to answer at the end of this. The Robbins Air Force Base in Georgia is holding a skeet shooting event today on Martin Luther King Day. And, hey, look, if people are going to use Martin Luther King Day as an excuse to sell mattresses and cars and things of that nature, why not? Skeet shooting is something that a lot of people enjoy. You have a day off. And if you have a day off, why not participate in something that makes you happy? It's important on these holidays to reflect on the meaning of them and what they mean to you and what they mean to the people around you, and not just But the Robins Air Force Base in Georgia is holding a skeet shooting event today. And to advertise it, they put up a bunch of posters with Martin Luther King Jr. on them. The headline being, wait for it, Martin Luther King Jr. Fun Shoot. The sound you hear is me banging my head against a microphone in exasperation. Apparently no one thought that the wording was a bad idea until other folks pointed out how unbelievably terrible it was, given how he left this earth.
Oh, no!
The officials from the base say a marketing team made the flyer, and it's an honest mistake. They also issued an apology saying, quote, "We realized the inappropriateness of the advertisement several days ago and immediately began removing the flyer. We offer our heartfelt apology to those affected by our thoughtlessness." That being said, as far as we know, the shooting event is still happening. I don't think there's anything wrong with the shooting event still happening. It's just like, you screwed up. You did not think this through. You called a recreational activity the Martin Luther King Jr. Fun Shoot. That was clearly incredibly poorly thought out. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was poorly thought out. It wasn't a jab. It wasn't any sort of... I don't believe there was a political agenda behind their thoughtlessness and stupidity. I think it was just that, thoughtlessness and stupidity. But why shouldn't the event still happening? Why shouldn't the event still happen? It's a day off. Have some fun. People had already planned on going to this thing, and people giving folks that are showing up a hard time for it. That's really, come on. Just because the folks over at the Air Force Base didn't think this one through is not necessarily a reason to go, oh, you had plans? You had plans on Martin Luther King Day? You had a day off that you work hard for? Therefore, you're no longer... you can't shortchange those people on... you can't shortchange those people on being able to go out and spend their time the way they want to on a holiday that they've worked hard for. You catch this Randy Syfax thing on losing, like LeBron James at clubs? It's good stuff.
I love LeBron. I like LeBron because I relate to LeBron. See, I feel like we can agree the world used to tune in to watch Jordan succeed, but now I feel like the world tunes in just to watch LeBron fail. And I've always felt my friends have watched me try and get girls with those same hating eyes. I'll paint you a picture. We'll be in the spot. The clock's ticking down. I got the rock. It's time to make a move. But he seems to be faltering down the stretch. LeBron looking quite passive here in this fourth quarter. Next thing you know, last call's been sounded. Lights are coming on. Uber app's opening. Looks like this one's gonna slip away. I sound like LeBron giving a press conference to my friends in the car afterwards. Just like, well, you know, I try to go out there and get y'all involved early. And you always have that friend going at you because you couldn't close, sounded like Stephen A. Smith in your ear. Just like, well, first and foremost, let me just start by saying, this the fourth straight Friday night we ended up at McDonald's, LeBron. It was 2 cheeseburgers last week, 2 cheeseburgers this week, and quite frankly, I can't handle any more value meals. Oh, thank you.
Funkhauser, you're going to Vegas to hang out with porn stars later in the week, right? For the, what's a convention called again?
The AEE, the Adult Entertainment Expo.
And because Canadian Jane is working, can't
also
go
known
with
as
you.
Ooh, yeah.
Because Canadian Jane is working and cannot go with you, you have opted instead to bring one of your newly single friends with you.
Tri-Fung, the Asian
Tri-Fung.
persuasion.
And I think that's good because I remember when you were single and a little down in the dumps, whenever we would talk, you're like, I'm going out with my friend Tri-Fung tonight. He's taking me out, trying to show me a good time, trying to cheer me up. And you were going one better because Tri-Fung, what would Where would you go with Tri-Fung when, he would take you out to, bars and clubs and stuff?
Yeah. And he would take me out karaoke night to Barney's. We go sing some songs.
Gotcha. That's his...
That's his thing, yes. He's good. He's really good. What's so funny? I know of a great karaoke spot in Vegas we're going to go to.
Your Asian friend's favorite pastime is to karaoke?
We sing 500 Miles together.
Oh, what, the Proclaimers?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Do you like back and forth with da-da-lunda, da-da-lunda? Oh, this I got to see. But you are going one better. He took you to karaoke. You are taking him to hang out with porn stars on the week where he has found himself newly single. I think
he's in charge of release forms. That's what he has to do.
Wait, you're actually putting him to work. He has
to meet every single person that we put on the air and sign paperwork. So he's got a job
really? So he's got an in with every. Wow, he can be like, yeah,
right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
If it doesn't work here, it will not work anywhere.
If the girls, the girls that you're going to have on the show of the adult entertainment mattress actress Persuasion, do they tend to sort of like get a little liquored up? In these situations to kind of like
get liquored up or remain liquored?
Yeah. Well, basically, what I'm trying to say is, now that he's newly single, you have taken steps to introduce your friend Tri-Fung to a convention center full of drunk porn stars. You are the exact opposite of the friends that Randy Syfax outlined in that bit, and I would like to congratulate you on winning
Here's
the friend
my friend
cup.
Tri-Fung. He sells houses for a living. Right now he's selling about $2 million houses. He's in charge of Attract. He's got to sell it in a year. And that commission is cha-ching, ladies and gentlemen, Tri-Fung.
And is that how you'll introduce him to adult entertainment folks?
Probably.
I need a house or just a place to live. I need someone's house to stay in. All right then. Well, good. You're a stellar friend, Funkhauser. Sean Penn. Sean Penn went to a lot of trouble to interview El Chapo, but now he feels that the Rolling Stone article that resulted from it was a dismal, dismal failure. Why? We'll talk about that tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging out, being part of our radio family. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do this all over again.
Sometimes you feel like it's cool to turn the other cheek and give people the benefit of the doubt even when they don't deserve it. And sometimes you feel good about yourself for being the better person and doing that. Well, this is not one of those times.